Today's match is brought to you by AE Engine, AmericanEagle.com, Bag Tags, Bubba Burger, Cliff Kids, Dick's Sporting Goods, Expand a Brand, Nesquik, Fusionetics, MLS, Nike Soccer, Positive Coaching Alliance, Premier International Tours, Soccer Shots, Sun-Made Raisins, Target, Turbo Sports Group, United Soccer Coaches, Wilson Trophy Company, and Yokohama. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frisco, side of the 2018 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. Todd Panula along with you as we bring you this Turbo Sports production of the said tournament. We're underway here in this Group A matchup between Legends FC and CDA Premier. CDA Premier hails from Cincinnati, coached by Tiffany Roberts, countered by Jenny Lawler's team from Temecula, California. Cincinnati UFC is clad in all black. Not necessarily the wisest choice given the heat that we have had here today, but nevertheless not too much in the way of options when your opponent is wearing their all whites. So the team from California doing their best to get things started off on the right foot as they will hit a corner kick and get our first scoring opportunity of the game. Came loose after it was punched by the goalkeeper over here towards the near side, and Cincinnati will be able to take a breather as they push it up. Flag stays down, goes up. The referee looked over very quickly, and offside was the call, and it stayed down ever so briefly, so I thought that they might have been able to time it just right. Banged up the near hand side. Taken instead by Cincinnati. CDA with the step over as Larbs able to get a foot onto that one. In towards the box, defense trying to clear their lines as best they can. Cincinnati in control of it, only briefly. Possession being traded back and forth here in the early going as it's sent over towards the far side by Thrapp. Taken down by Dean. Pushed on by Clark. Clark again. Looking up top for Vogt. Instead, it's here for White, but she couldn't quite get to it before the defender. Collision in the midfield. Official quickly over there as Rhodes was taken down. Strong free kick right into the wall, though. Flicked along by Dean. Still trying to keep it alive. Left-footed chance from setters. And that goes awry. And as has been the case throughout the day here, just about in every game we've had on this field, the Lake claims another one. Hard to see there on your screens, but just over the wall, or the fence, I should say, where all those advertising boards are at, there is a lake there with a fountain off in the distance. On a day where the wind is blowing in the nice direction, it ends up bringing a little bit of the spray off of that. We haven't been so lucky here today, as there's hardly been any wind here in the past hour and a half. There's been a little bit of a breeze to make things a little less uncomfortable, but no rest for the weary for the players, as they're out in the sunshine the entire time. And as you can tell from your screens, there's only the shadows directly underneath the players. They're casting none at all as the sun is basically settled in overhead. 1 o'clock was the kickoff time. It's a little bit of a sweep kick there from Goodman, drew the foul. Going to the ground for a second time is Rhodes. Lobbing one up about 7 yards outside the 18-yard area. Comes back over here to the near side. Dennison straight away now for Rhodes. She plays it back. Larbs intending that one back for Rhodes, but she had vacated the area. Cincinnati doing a good job to thwart any kind of counter-attacking opportunity. Moore was up there for Legends FC, but they couldn't quite get onto the attack. In on the attack, flag does stay down this time. A chance here for CDA. They put it towards goal and just wide. Jones electing not to take the shot. Instead tried to set up the pass. Did get it across to Kuiper, but she was unsuccessful in tucking that one home. Foot stuck in by Meyer, able to win it back ever so briefly for CDA. Cincinnati forced back into a defensive posture. Ball goes into touch. That'll allow Legends FC to put this one into the mixer, trying to go for a long throw here. Legends FC had the first opportunity towards goal of the game, getting a corner kick in the first minute or so, but ever since then it's been mostly Cincinnati Premier on the attack. White coming all the way back from her wing position to get control of this one. Meyer ends up with it, but it's filtered on back for setters. Slowing up in the midfield, and then that long ball will find nobody except for the team in white as they regain on the throw. Legends FC gain the free kick. White taken down from behind. Comes down for White again. White tried to hand it off. She had Kuiper there, but the passing lane dried up in the sun. Chance upfield for Goodman. Goes back the other way. Here's White. And again, the passing lane's just not very open right now. A slotted ball through, and the goalkeeper comes out to make the claim. Brought down by Dennison. All the way back to her own goalkeeper. Played up through the center of the pitch. Brought down by the head ball. O'Brien able to bring it down. Once again, Legend FC winning some free kicks here in the midfield. And if you're Cincinnati Premier, obviously you're more than willing to get called for those kind of fouls as long as you're in the middle of the field. The more you get towards a defensive position, you need to stop allowing the referee to blow the whistle so many times. Played out from the back. Dennison will get to it instead for Cincinnati.
Are you with the live stream? Somebody said that the two teams might be mixed up here. I don't know how to get to them.
Dennison puts it back into play. Brought down. Nicely done along the backside. Legends FC doing a good job there to keep that one away from the pressure. Now a left-footed shot was actually blocked by Meyer. Didn't mean to do that as she stopped her own teammate from getting that one in on goal. And now a dangerous free kick opportunity coming up for CDA. Not too far outside the box. Going to be a right-footed challenge towards goal. We'll see if they go for the cross or go for glory. They go for the back post, and that's punched away. Meredith able to get 2 fists in behind that one. Since we didn't have time before the game, might as well let you know who your goalkeepers are here today. It's Maddie Meredith coming out to make the grab right there. She's in goal for Legends FC, countered by Adriana Brewer for CDA Premier. Either team brings it down cleanly, then the sliding tackle, able to bring it around for Dennison. Dean with pressure coming from behind, tried to slide it through for White, but the defender cut it off. Dean able to almost win it back, and then Pepper had her pocket picked. Oduyoye. Looking here for Dennison on the near side. They'll find her. Stepped right into the defender, but it will roll out. Rhodes slips it through. Larbs into the box. Right-footed chance. No. Laid back for Larbs. What's it on the left? Here's Rhodes, and again the defenders converging. Rhodes a third time. Once again, just surrounded in white. This one will go off Legends FC and out. And apparently it took a double touch, as it will go to the California team. Emily Clark watches it roll over the end line. That'll give a goal kick. And we'll have the hydration break. Comes rather early, as we're only in the 15th minute. Didn't hear any decisions as to whether there would be a second first half water break. And so you would assume that there's only going to be one in this half, and therefore it's coming rather early in the half. Nevertheless, it's been a solid half for both of these teams. They've managed to push forward, create a couple chances. It seemed like it was going to start off as an excellent start for Legends FC as they got the early corner kick opportunity. But since then, it's been mainly the team from Cincinnati, CDA Premier, as they've put a couple good chances in towards goal. Overall, neither goalkeeper has been forced to make any really difficult saves, but Brewer and Meredith have done fairly well for their respective teams overall. Letting you know how these teams got here. Both of them are topping their group in Group A. Both of them won on day one as Legends FC won 3-2 over Century Gold. And it was a 5-0 win for Cincinnati Premier over Princeton Soccer Academy. So we've had a couple cross-country affairs here today on this field. The furthest away that these teams have been is California and Pennsylvania. Cincinnati not too far away from that, only one state over to the west. But the Midwest versus the West Coast representing in this game. First place in Group A on the line. Still relatively early in the first half here. Only the 17th minute as we come out of the water break. Is the official having an extra word with Mackenzie Velo. Not sure what he would have seen in before the break. And nevertheless, he wanted to get things straightened out. .50-50 won by Legends FC. Comes back into the midfield. Too tall for everybody there as it takes a couple bounces. Oduyoye trying to clear it away. Comes over here to the near sideline. Held in, taken towards the end line, into the box. And sent towards goal, but Brewer comfortably underneath it. Counterattack here for CDA. The cross gets onto the mark and just over the mark. Kate Larbs able to get ahead onto that one and generate some decent power to it. But it ended up just over the target. Chances have been hard to come by for both teams in the actual offensive box. But Larb's doing a good job to get in behind that one. Those lofted balls are sometimes difficult to generate some power behind, because you have to wait for the ball to come down to you, and then all the power is basically generated by however much you can snap into it. Much more difficult to judge the driven ball, but all you're doing in that situation usually is just trying to deflect it on target as opposed to actually get the shot off yourself. This one crosses the way and then is sent out. Back out towards the top of the box. First opportunity off the flow of play coming up for Legends FC. They get a good cross in. And ultimately the shot from Pepper was knocked down. Intercepted in the midfield, going back the other direction. Below. And a missed touch there along the near sideline. That gets away from Pepper. Back up into the near side. Into touch along the sideline. It's going to belong to Legends FC. Going to go with a long throw. Just gets into the 18-yard box. 50-50 initially won by Cincinnati. Unable to fully clear with any conviction, put back into the mixer. Brewer ended up getting the last piece of that one. Legends FC trying to get in on the attack. Cincinnati getting in front of it. Rhodes, as there's a player down. That's Velo. Rhodes off to the races. White joining her, bringing it up the left-hand side, taking it towards the end line. White touching it inside the box. Can't regain possession fully. Still in charge of it, though. White drops it to Rhodes. Puts it back onto the left foot. Wants that cross. Puts it in front. And diving out nicely is Meredith. High up into the sky, difficult to see with the sun almost directly overhead. Close to a handball there from Oduyoye, excuse me, but got that arm down just enough. Put back into play by Clark. They go a little direct there for Goodman. She's got two defenders right in front of her and then slips over the ball. Dennison able to step in front of it. And instead it's sent along by Velo in towards the box. And once again, that last final ball just not quite there yet for Legends FC. Wind picking up just a little bit here in our final game of the day. A couple substitutes about to be coming in for CDA. Kea Vogt will come into the game. As well as Elizabeth Lovedell. So Vogt and Lovedell into the game. Coming out are Meyer and Kuiper. Throw in from the near sideline, finds the player right along the edge of the box. Instead, it was cleared away up the near sideline again. This time the throw in will favor Cincinnati. White just barely missed the flick on. Brought down by King. She sends it up the field. Pressure coming from behind. Levine just able to avoid it. Long shot. Ended up settling in nicely for Brewer. Looked like she might have struggled a bit, but it ended up dipping more and more into her possession. Rhodes has that one just avoid her. Chopped up high in the air, neither team coming down with it very well. Dennison unable to control it as it goes all the way in towards the corner, sent in towards goal, and Brewer comes out to make the grab. Wouldn't have mattered anyway as the flag was up offside. The call, or actually no, it went out for the goal kick, so it curled back into play. They go short with it. Clark up the sideline for Lovedell. Possession hard to come by for either team now, but Legends FC have it at the moment. Pepper making a run here to the near side and then gets the pass. Looking for space along the sideline. subs coming in now for Legends FC, Alexandra Vargas and Joey Carestis. They'll make a third substitution here in just a moment, but it looks like they're going to restart play before that happens. King with the throw, going up the sideline, now cutting in towards the box. And once again, Cincinnati more than content just to blast that one out. So into the game now is Brianna Valdez. She comes in for Allison Pepper. Left-footed chance off the defender. Flag goes up. Words of encouragement from the Legends bench, feeling that something positive is coming, that they've been building towards something. They've definitely been pushing more towards goal here in the last few minutes than they did earlier in the contest. Cincinnati seems to have lost a little bit of steam as the pendulum of this game swings back and forth. An opportunity now for Cincinnati as it's brought down by Lovedale. She cuts it back up towards the top, kind of in between options though. Rhodes with another opportunity, but she was afraid she was offside, so sees it just roll over. '30th minute, no score. Legends FC in control as they lob one over the top. Racing onto it. Defender got there first as Oduyoye was able to outmuscle the forward and actually draw the free kick. Several of the Legends fans over on the far side clearly disagreed. Vote, Oduyoye, and now Rhodes. Slotted on through, trying to make the run. Goodman back out in front, not quite there. And so that is the reason we had such an early water break, because we are getting a second one. 31st minute of play, still no score. Subs about to come in for CDA. Looks like Robertson, Anucci. And there was one more, but I didn't quite catch that one. We'll try to get that for you here in just a moment. So the flow of this game has been slowed down a little bit. Obviously, the heat of the day really kind of having a big impact on that. And when you have it in Texas in the middle of summer, this is the kind of days you're going to get. Hard to beat. Yesterday, there was a little bit of a respite, despite the fact that it was still up near 100, high 90s, even by the time that the tournament games were over. We did end up hitting triple digits by the time the high came of the day, but right now it's just hot in general. The breeze is there every once in a while, but really not enough to make that big a difference. So we're about to restart after the second water break. About 15 minutes away from the end of regulation here in the first half, so you figure that we'll have at least 2 minutes tacked on for each water break, potentially more. So with each one taking about 2 minutes, we could have as many as 4 minutes added on at the least. All the way back for Odioye. White is calling for it, making the run out here towards the side. And that was actually Robertson who replaced White. Back into play for Valdez. Looked like she had stepped over the challenge there, but the officials still saw enough in it to give the free kick. Free kick taken by Carestes. Comes in along the end line. Safely in the hands of Brewer, but it went out before that even happened. Legends FC in control in their defensive third, trying to send it up through the midfield. Intercepted by Dean, but she couldn't gain control off of it. And again, the team from California pushes it up the far hand side. It's there for King. Couldn't be handled by Vilo. Brought down rather awkwardly. Sent back towards the box now. Alyssa Moore. And a bad chance towards goal, especially with everybody feeling the effects of the weather. Might as well take your chances when you get them. Coming into the game for Legends FC is going to be Miale Jones and Gracie Raymond. Manucci plays it over to the far hand side, trying to get it onto the running Lovedale. That's touched into play. Just out of the reach of Lovedale again. We'll have another substitute coming in for Legends FC. Remember, both these teams trying to stay on top of Group A. They both won their first game. A victory here would solidify themselves very nicely as Samantha Ritchie enters the game for Legends FC. But also to that same point, neither team is necessarily overly pressed to go for the victory here, because both sides could be content with a draw. You stay tied atop the group. You play the two lower teams tomorrow, and then try to get that either 7th or 9th point in that game that would make the difference. Dickerson offside. 38th minute, and this game has really started to slow down. And despite 2 water breaks, the possession has really been few and far between. We've seen a lot of chances like these where they're attempting to go over the top, not even necessarily purposefully, but it's more or less just how things have kind of worked out. In towards the box, could be dangerous, and whistle goes, flag was up. Back to Brewer as they push the reset button, starting all the way from the keeper. Oduyoye. Dickerson's making the run here on the near side, but that was stolen away. Moore trying to go on to the attack. Here's Jones. Looking forward. Jones again. Plays it up the sideline. Looking for a little bit of space. And that one will just trickle out. Brought down along the half line by Anucci. Going over the top for Dickerson, but defenders there. One in the midfield by Vogt. Played out of bounds. Up the left-hand side now for Legends FC as they try a centering ball. Flicked on by Moore. She was taken out. An initial plea for a penalty kick, but that's not happening. It'll be a simple goal kick. As Oduyoye looks like she's a bit shaken up. All the way back is CDA trying to set things up. After a very eventful start to this half, as heat has really kind of settled in with these players. The game has really kind of slowed down to a crawl. And it's really not as though they're not putting effort forth. It's just that the execution has begun to lack. Moore trying to put on the pressure here. Brewer forced into a bit of a mistake and a bit of a cheap foul there as Moore came in, and she's going to go into the book. .42nd minute, yellow card against Alyssa Moore. So Moore into the book. Has to worry about yellow card accumulation. Obviously has to take her foot off the gas a little bit in the rest of this half and game as well. Normally you don't have to worry about forwards picking up yellow cards, especially a second time, as the strikers generally don't end up in positions that are going to get them in trouble like that. Odioye with pressure coming in from behind. Jones was right on her. Trickles over the far sideline into touch. It'll belong to Legends FC. Here's Moore. Close to a handball. Referee doesn't heed any of the warnings. Taken down by Clark. And then intercepted on the clearance. The dummy run by Jones was seen by Dean. There's King. Too far for Vargas. Almost an interception, which would have led to a counterattack. Instead, it's Dean setting it up from her own backside. Clark. Alyssa Moore again as Legends FC push onto the attack, trying to take advantage of some tired defenders, but there were just too many. The numbers game was not in the favor of Alyssa Moore. Free kick for CDA Premier. Only a few yards on their side of the half, though. So difficult to generate something out of this. 4 minutes of extra time being added on to the end of this one. Closing in on stoppage time as we speak. Working around the defenders, Jones. Lots of space in front. Slides one through to Moore. Odioye lets it run on, and that will end up with the goalkeeper, Brewer. Good slotted ball through. The first touch evaded Dickerson. Otherwise, she would have had a good run in towards goal. Blasted away by Meredith. Dennison and Jones collide. Moore takes a spill and gains the free kick. They wanted to go quick with it. The referee didn't like to spot the ball. So now they'll set things up. Legends FC with a chance to put one in towards the box. Looking for Moore. She's set up along that back post. Got to it. Did get it after it went over the top of Odioye. But difficult to generate any kind of power behind that. Now on the right wing, Paducci takes on the defender. Forgot about the ball ever so briefly. Ends up into touch. It'll be a throw for CDA Premier. Two minutes played of an extra 4 being added on to the end of this half. As this one comes back up towards the midfield circle, Odioye blasts it back up into the air. Trying to take it down is Clark. Instead, it was knocked away from setters. Possession traded back and forth. Valdez. Jones. Up to Moore. Jones is making the run towards the center. Moore comes over here to the right. Oduyoye right on her. Moore has her possession stolen away. Chance again for Legends FC off the long throw. Flick in dangerously along that back post, but then blasted well over. But that's the first chance that Legends FC have had in quite some time. That ball went well out of play, so they'll have to get a fresh one in. A good effort to get it into a dangerous position. But not too much came of it in the end. Back to live action now as the goal kick puts it back into play. Taken right back, once again pushing up the field. Caristes. Oduyoye takes it back for Cincinnati. And there is the whistle. One half in the books. Nothing yet decided in this contest. 0-0 at the break. And speaking of which, we will take one as well. We'll be back in just a little bit. You're watching the Turbo Sports Group production of the 2018 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. Back with more after this. Today's match is brought to you by AE Engine, AmericanEagle.com, Bag Tags, Bubba Burger, Cliff Kids, Dick's Sporting Goods, Expand a Brand, Nesquik, Fusionetics, MLS, Nike Soccer, Positive Coaching Alliance, Premier International Tours, Soccer Shots, Sun-Made Raisins, Target, Turbo Sports Group, United Soccer Coaches, Wilson Trophy Company, and Yokohama.
It was 1935, the year that Elvis and Sandy Koufax were born. It was a year of many firsts, including the first NFL draft, the first Monopoly board game went on sale, Social Security began, and Babe Ruth hit his last home run. In addition to these milestones, the National Junior Challenge Cup was founded in 1935, offering a youth competition for young men in the United States. The cup was later named the James P. McGuire Cup, after the late U.S. soccer president, who himself was quite a standout in his earlier days, winning the U.S. Open Cup in 1929. McGuire would lead U.S. soccer and earn an international reputation as an excellent leader.
The Jim McGuire Cup was started in 1935. It was the only cup that the United States Soccer Federation had for youth players. And it was a very good competition, and I can tell you, I mean, this was the highlight of my soccer career to be a champion in 1954.
This storied cup, now the oldest trophy in youth sport.
It has a history, it has a meaning, I think it has tradition. So I think it's extremely important for our competitions, for all the age groups that kind of emulate the McGuire Cup.
Winning the McGuire Cup is huge, just because all that history that comes along with the oldest trophy in youth sports period, that's really big for us.
Who will write their name in the next chapter of the storied McGuire Cup?
Forget last year. It's gone. Ancient history. It's time to forget about failure and how you came up short, how you missed the mark. Yeah, it's time to forget about the man you should have marked, the run you should have made. Remember that shot you should have taken? Time to let it all go. Forget about it. It's time to go to work.
Welcome back to Frisco, Texas. Todd Panula along with you here as the officials have taken the field a little bit later than the players. But there are no subs for the officials, although last year we did end up having to have one official, quote-unquote, subbed out, as he was suffering the effects of the heat in last year's weather. Hopefully we don't have to see that again in any of the games during this year's tournament, and these officials can see it all out. So the teams have swapped sides. We'll blame that on the heat, regardless of whether it's true or not. Cincinnati will open up with possession. On the foot of setters for CDA as they work it up through the midfield. Now it's with Dean. Crossing the stripe with the pass over towards the far sideline. Cincinnati Premier looks to get on the attack. That one was negated. Coming all the way back is Jones. Worked over here towards the near sideline. Raymond gets it back. She's cut off and then stepped into with force was Demi Shibeta. Setters puts it back into play, but possession quickly lost for Legends FC. And again, just to kind of reset the thought process for both of these teams. Obviously, you enter in every contest looking to win. But despite the fact that a win would basically cement a spot in the semifinals for either team, that, well, whichever team got the extra 3 points, this isn't a must game for either team. And you have to wonder, with tomorrow still to come, and being unaware of what's going on the other group stage game, if perhaps eventually later in the half, discretion becomes the better part of valor and you just decide to go for the point. Right now, I think these two teams are going to play out probably about 15, 20 minutes, see how things go, make some substitutions, potentially change up the game plan after that. That was basically what the thought process was in the last game. But again, with both these teams coming in with one victory, 3 points on the board, if you both pick up a point, you're both still tied atop the group, no matter what happens in the other games. And then you head into the last day. You can either put yourself in a position to advance with 7 points, or give yourself a good opportunity to pick up a 5th point. And you do run the risk of, if somebody on the other side of the group won today and then won tomorrow, then all of a sudden you put yourself in a mathematical position that's not very positive. But you do have to wonder if there will become a point in this game where the draw becomes just as positive a result for either team as a victory would be. Because the chances have been few and far between here, as we're about 3 minutes in here in the second half. If this one mirrors the first half, you would imagine that they will have 2 more water breaks, as it's been a much more scorching day here. You can even see it on the pitch, as they've done a very good job of keeping the grass intact, but the heat of the day, no matter how much you water it, it's going to dry out. Chunks coming up left and right, and the goal boxes, I believe, are going to be the most difficult to keep intact throughout this tournament. But the grounds crew's done a good job. They were out here taking care of some of the bare patches and watering down some of the more overused spots right after the tournament ended yesterday. You would imagine they would do the same today. Legends FC now with a chance to push it forward. Instead, that was thwarted by the defense. Shibeta with a player open here on the near side. She cuts it back towards the middle, though. Robertson. And now Dickerson. Spinning away from pressures, Jones. Natalie Jones plays it out wide. Serve back up towards the middle. Dealt with initially by Clark. Still not cleared away from danger. Dennison sends it up, and that'll go into touch. Flicked on by Lovedale. Able to win it back. Trying to push it up the left-hand side to Anucci. Goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Wakefield comes out to play it. There has been a goalkeeping switch, but only for Legends FC. Staying in between the wickets was Adriana Brewer. As I mentioned just before halftime, neither goalkeeper was overly tested in that first half. A couple chances towards goal for either team, enough to get the hands on the ball for the goalkeepers, but not too much in there. There was a heavy challenge there. The official right there electing to keep the whistle in the pocket, so to speak. Touched up the sideline by Setters. Taken away, but only briefly, by Raymond. Setters with the throw. Back for Dickerson. Collisions left and right. Finally coming away with it is Legends FC. Vanderbilt. Near side now for CDA. Dickerson. Manucci was making the run across. Dickerson takes it herself. Played upfield by Raymond, but right back to Dickerson. Lobbing one over the top to Anucci. Into the 18-yard box, centering. And dealt with nicely by Pepper. Too much in that one in the end for the official. Gives the call against Velo. Slide tackle will actually knock that one out, and that will benefit Legends FC. They'll gain an attacking half throw-in off of that. Way up the field is Ritchie. Puts it in towards the box. Flick back out towards the edge of the area. That didn't quite go the way that they intended it. As the wind briefly picks up. Trying to go over the top to Anucci. And again, possession just kind of evading everybody here in the attacking third as they can't keep that one in. Now a chance for Anucci as it goes up the right-hand side. She'll take it all the way towards the end line. She's taken down. She's visibly frustrated, but that was a clean challenge. Referee not necessarily in the best position as he had come over here towards the near sideline to check to make sure that there wasn't going to be any more after Velo was taken down. Dennison lunges up towards it, but Legends FC will retain possession. Trying their luck on the right-hand side this time, as much of the possession has been in the near sideline. Robertson dropped off. Possession given away again. Chance from the left. That goes off the crossbar and out. Not a bad opportunity coming in there from Raymond. '57th minute. So you'd figure once we get around the 60th minute, we'll have our first of a potential 2 water breaks. Legends FC trying to go for goal, and that one will go up and over. So the Lake claims another one. Flicked over here towards the near sideline. Picked up by Setters. She tries to loft one up for Anucci. She's got the speed to catch up to it just before it gets to the corner. Cross from the end line, but too close to the goalkeeper, and Wakefield able to make the grab. Touched long. Here comes Jones. But again, the defenders just too much. Raymond trying to make the steal. Finally cleared out by Setters. Throw in by way of Ritchie. Official tells him to hold it up for just a moment. Ritchie puts it in between the 18-yard line and the 6-yard box. Able to send it out. White, who just came back into the game. She wants to come up the right-hand side. Change of pace here. She's got a lot of speed. Charging towards the middle now. Takes on King, but King gets the better of it as that pass came too early. Lobbing one over the top, trying to get it on for Jones. Instead, they seek out the far side after the flick. Dean carries it the other way. Vogt. Dennison. Oduyoye. Possession taken back by Legends FC as they've started to build something here in the last few moments. Closing in on our first of 2 hydration breaks, you would imagine. But perhaps in the next stoppage. Oduyoye gets it back from the left back position. Meyer was out muscled. So at the stoppage, we will get our water break here in the 61st minute. No score between these two teams. Top of Group A, both with 3 points. And now you have to start wondering, with about 30 minutes left of game time, whether it's better to try to just see this one out. Take your chances when they're there, but you don't want to give up anything either. It's been a game of waves, much like the ocean crashing against the beach. It can be very calm. And then all of a sudden, an attacking wave crashes against the beach. But as of right now, it has not overtaken anyone. So it looks like Demi Shibeta is going to be coming out of the hydration break. She seemed to be suffering from the heat just too much. And that's the problem with this kind of weather, is it affects everybody so differently. Is you can never have the exact same reaction between two people. Some people shrug it off. They don't mind this kind of weather. They love being out in the sun. Give them a little bit of water every now and then they'll be good. Other people, it just seems to sap it out of them right away. So once again, after about 2 minutes, we'll get things back started. This time it's going to come from a throw-in, as it has most of the time in this game. Fourth official asking if it was further back. So actually possession was wrong, not necessarily the spotted throw. Trying to go over the top, looking for Meyer. Manucci was there as well. Defender got to it first. White went to ground. Meyer serves it in. Dean looking to switch the point of attack. Sub coming in now for Cincinnati Premier. Anucci is replaced by the Larbs. Another substitute coming in for Cincinnati. It's Coach Roberts trying to switch things up a little bit. See if they can find that last bit of space and put one in. Ava Kuiper will come back into the game. She had a couple good opportunities in her chance at the very first start of the game. She was a starter, in fact. Put in towards the penalty spot. Offside is the call. Flag was up here on the near side. Legends FC going to try to start it up quickly. Vargas gave it up. Almost a handball. Vogt was very close. Touched up the near sideline, but not enough touch on it. Touched inside the box, came loose. Kuiper was there, but the ball was not at the very most opportune moment. Into touch along the far sideline. Back for Legends FC. Another substitute coming in now. Coming out of the game is Kaya Vogt. And back in is Jordan Rhodes. Taken down by Dennison. And on the attack now. Trying to push it in is Jones. Pushed away by the defender, but Legends FC starting to build something. Numbers pushing forward in white. In fact, only 2 players. Now make it 1 player, not within 5 yards of the 18-yard area. This one goes out, so that'll be a corner kick. Nicely driven ball, but met with the head of Dean. She was able to clear it away. Legends FC trying to get it back into the danger area. And we'll get another throw in for Legends FC. Restarts. seem to be taking longer and longer. So we get a foul in from behind, rather cheaply given. That'll allow Cincinnati to clear it out. They go short with the free kick and come over here towards the near side. Setters. White was making the run. Instead, they go over the top. Push him from behind. Referee allowing everything to go. Goes over towards the far sideline, trying to work around Dennison. Legends FC playing it up. Couldn't quite settle down for Velo. Now Vargas off the defender and out. Dean steps on it, brings it back. Larbs. White is calling for it. There's a defender too close to her proximity. Almost stolen from behind there. Coming back to pick that up is Dean. Held in along the sideline by Larbs. White does the same. Vargas steals it away. One touch passing back towards the near sideline as they look to go over the top, and Rhodes. Defender struggling with it. And it'll be a corner kick. So CDA Premier with a chance here with a left-footed in-swinger. 72nd minute, scoreless game. They go out towards the penalty spot. Defender deals with it. Dennison trying to chase it down on the far side. Serves it back in. This one touched just over. And an excellent opportunity there. White almost in disbelief that she couldn't put that one home. That is our first clear-cut scoring opportunity of this half. You could almost argue the game. There were a couple hit-or-miss opportunities in the first half, but you see this one served back in and getting in just behind that one, and that was actually Rhodes to get a piece of it. But the reaction came from White, who's coming in. Couldn't quite get to that one. Wakefield quick off of her line. So it's going to hop too high. It goes awkwardly off the knee. Oduyoye has to deal with it. Into the box for Legends FC. Served in. Bobbled. But ultimately smothered by Brewer. Subs about to come in for Legends FC as they try to find a lineup to finish off this game. They've been starting to build up some pressure. And again, that's into touch. Back in favor of CDA. 74th minute of play. First water break came around the 60th minute, give or take, so you figure within the next 2 to 4 minutes we'll get another one. Checking into the game is Chloe King. Also back into the game is Brianna Valdez. And about to come in as well is Alyssa Moore. So Legends FC putting back out plenty of the players that started the half. Or excuse me, the game. King was dispossessed. Legends FC retained the ball, though. Coming through the midfield. Velo. And once again, that final ball just not quite there. White taking on the defender. Pushes it closer towards the end line. Taking it all herself. Looking for that cross. And real estate just ran out. So final water break of this half. The two top teams in Group A battling it out to the very end, trying to find that go-ahead goal that would put them top of the group by themselves with 6 points. Once again, a draw for both teams would see them stay on top no matter what happens in the other game. A win would basically guarantee your spot in the knockout rounds. A loss doesn't really hurt you all that much. It is obviously not something either team would seek out. But with that win on day one in your back pocket, that gives you the room to be a little more aggressive if either team chose to do so here. As I've mentioned, I have to start figuring as the day keeps progressing and the chances becoming fewer and farther between, that perhaps the draw becomes more and more advantageous to both teams. But again, with that win in your back pocket, you can take the loss if you choose to push forward and go for that goal and leave caution to the wind defensively. But that's not necessarily the tactic that a lot of coaches are always willing to take, because they want the points, they want the guarantee. They want to be able to go into the final day not having to win, which if you only have 3 points, then all of a sudden you may have to win depending on who does what in that other group game. So that becomes all important for the result of this one. As I mentioned, if you stay on top, you stay on top, perhaps only by a point, or perhaps the other game is draw, and then none of that really matters. So Legends FC going to try to make a sub coming out of the hydration break. They will wait until the next time, as we're going to get things started once again, this time with a goal kick. Headed back the other way by Larbs. Back underway in the 78th minute. So once again, you figure about 4, maybe 5 minutes added back onto this one due to hydration stoppage time. The sun beating down on everybody. There's really no escape. CDA putting it towards the edge of the box, but again, that final ball just not quite there for either team. It's been the reoccurring theme coming out of my mouth. Is it seems like they build, and then it just kind of peters out there at the very end. Coming into the game, though, is Joe Marie Vanderbilt for Legends FC. So Vanderbilt replaces Carestis. And it'll be a corner kick coming up for Legends FC. Looks like they're going to wait to make their other substitution that's been waiting up at half field for a decent amount of time. Thrap will come up to take the kick. Right foot into it, driven in towards the near post, and too much curl on that one, never had a chance. Possession one in the midfield by Meyer, pushing it on through towards the left-hand side. And a sliding defender was able to knock that one away. Colliding over with a fan on the far side. We will get our substitute at the next opportune time. Instead, it's Jones bringing it up into the box. Now the shot comes in, just scrapes across the face of goal. Brewer didn't know too much about it, seemed to be rather comfortable in the fact that either she wasn't going to be able to get to it or it was going to go wide. Either way, a decent opportunity, though, for Legends FC as we get closer and closer towards the end of this game. Entering the game again is Marissa Levine. And she will replace Samantha Ritchie. Throw in to Legends. Won by Larbs. Brought down over here on the near sideline by the recently entered Levine. She's taken on all defenders, but going the wrong direction. Now she cuts it back onto the attack. Serves one up into the midfield circle. Time ticking away on this one as Velo sends one up, looking for Jones. Couldn't quite get it there. Back the other direction, but still in control. Trying to get one up to Moore at that striker position. But after a brief burst of attack from Legends FC, we're settling back into this lull that we've experienced back and forth. Now perhaps an attacking wave coming for CDA. The team from Cincinnati cutting it back, trying to get it back across. But everybody had gone more central. Now Meyer will cross it in herself. That one hits off the back of the net. Mishandled there by Meyer. Back in towards the middle of the pitch. Almost stolen by Dean. And banged out by King. Legends FC trying for one last push perhaps. Still plenty of time left up on the clock though in this game because even though we're in the 84th minute, you figure there'll probably be about 10 minutes left in this contest with all the time added on due to the hydration break. Wakefield comes out, courageously slides right in front of the attacker. Here's Velo. Jones was calling for it. Instead, they go with the short pass to Vargas. So there was a discrepancy between the official and the assistant as to who had possession coming off that throw. It ends up with Legends. Once again, working it towards the penalty area. Left-footed drive, curling away, but there's players in front, and they serve it over the goal. Probably the best chance of the game. The shot initially came in from Vanderbilt. Last touch by Moore, but she couldn't steer it on target. There you see Vanderbilt curling one in, and stretching out to get a piece of it was Moore, but it just went over. I think if she had handled that one cleanly, she might have been able to get a little bit better of a shot on it. But as it was, it took a couple bounces between her and her teammate before she could really settle in and get a foot through it. And in that interim, she was able to lean back too far. On the counter, looking for White, not enough on the pass. Moore has to slow up as well, waiting for that one to come on through. Looking for Jones, and the goalkeeper misses it. It'll go out. Was there a touch? Apparently not. So it'll be a goal kick regardless. Looked like Jones just got a little bit of a stab on that one. That was enough to get it past the goalkeeper, but not keep it in play. Levine hands it off. Moore sends it back, looking for a return pass. Instead, they go into box. Jones was there, but the ball just a bit too close to the goalkeeper. Brewer coming out, diving after it. Comes up and hits Vanderbilt in the face. And Legends FC building on the attack. You can tell that the midfield and defending players for Cincinnati Premier getting more and more winded. The attacking players for CDA have been full of energy when they've pushed it forward, but that's been the big difference, is that they've spent so much time defending here in the last 10-15 minutes that their midfielders and defenders are starting to get winded. Up the left wing. Dean serves one in. It's touched around the goalkeeper. Not sure how much of a touch Kuiper got onto it, but it was enough to really kind of put some lumps in throats. Rolling one here over to the near side. Jones flicks it on. There's a race for it. Bilo couldn't quite get to it. Throw in for Cincinnati. Lacing one up the sideline, intending that one for White, but cut off by the defender. Somewhat hastily headed out as Clark lost sight of it just for a moment. Ended up having to make the smarter defensive play. Jordan King will come up. '89th minute. Attacking throw in here. King puts it in. Got caught up in the sudden wind gust. Those have been few and far between here today as well. King gets this one caught up in the wind as well. Flag goes up. That one was an easy call. You could kind of tell it even from our broadcast position, unless that was a heck of a run by Moore. But the far side assistant saying it was otherwise. Labeled up the field for Larbs. White tried to run onto it. Just too much on that one as it goes out. Up for Velo. She had Dean right on her back. Now Jones serves it into the box for Moore. Oduyoye right on her. Moore finding a little bit of space. And then it was poked away at the last moment. And then a foul. The offside flag was up. That was seen very late, given the position of the assistant on the far side. So that had to have been Moore initially before she even collected the ball. So we're officially in stoppage time. Again, roughly 4 minutes going to be added on to this one. Always up to the discretion of the officials as this one's lobbed over the top to Rhodes. She's going to stomp on it, bring it back. Kuiper looking to send it across. White was there, but so was the defender. Back into the box, but numbers not in the favor of Cincinnati Premier. Back up towards the midfield line. Too tall for everybody. Second attempt, Jones felt the crunch of the tackle, but she got the header off first. It's going to come over here to the near sideline. It'll be a Legends FC throw. Back in quickly from Thrapp. Looking to go over the top to Moore. She wants to keep it in, puts it on that right foot, sends it across. Oduyoye deals with it. Dean sends it up, not quite out yet. Thrapp couldn't quite get it under control. The final energy reserves being expended right now. So now Rhodes in a bit of hot water. She thought that it belonged to her. She tried to make a swipe at it. It was a Legends FC throw. Thrapp keeps it alive. Jones surrounded. And then Jones a little too much in on the challenge. White sends one through, but that's much too direct. '93rd minute. So a little under 2 minutes left to go in this one. Depending on any additional time added on, they try to go to the right wing. Might have been a better idea from Miali Jones to put that one in on goal, but they will gain an attacking throw, which is well as some of these girls can throw the ball, especially Jordan Lynn, or King, excuse me. It ends up being almost as good as a corner kick. Obviously, you can't go to the back post as much, but you can still get it in a pretty good spot. Falling just shy of the 6-yard box, but it goes off the defender and not cleanly handled by Dean, so it'll be a corner. Last game of the day. These teams trying to get themselves sole possession of first place in Group A. A win would basically put either team into the knockout round, but a draw does both of them just as well, as they would be sitting on 4 points no matter what happens in the other game. Towards the back post off the corner, but the defenders deal with it. A one-time shot back in, that's blocked as well as Oduyoye got in front. Throw in favors Legends. Brought down instead by CDA for Meyer. Newfound energy here for Legends FC as they want to get that game-winning goal. They can almost feel it coming. Vanderbilt into the box for Jones. They lunge at it. But too much of the player as well as the ball, so the foul will come out. And there is the final whistle. 90 minutes plus stoppage time all played here from Frisco, and nothing decided in this game. It will finish in a scoreless draw, but as I mentioned several times throughout the broadcast, that actually does benefit both of these teams as they will stay on top of Group A, 4 points apiece, despite the fact that they're a little bit disappointed that they couldn't put one in the back of the net. So for everybody here at Turbo Sports Group, we thank you for watching today's action. We'll be back with you again tomorrow. Be sure to tune in to until then, I'm Todd Panula. Everybody have a great day.